Day 22. Day 22. We're moving forward. We're doing everything. You know, it's funny because I've actually started getting used to the exercises a little bit. I still hate doing them, but now it's not as difficult to get myself going now with the exercises, which is something good. I'm also going to be changing up the exercise today for chest day, and all of them. Change it up and do a new routine to confuse the muscles and everything like that. Um, Other than that, yeah, probably will shave too, trim, whatever you call it. But yeah, going forward, keep moving, doing everything I need to do, finishing up, my applications and everything, and just getting everything done by around September, definitely by October, and yeah, live a whole brand new life over there. And like I said, if I'm serious about wanting and maintaining multiple girlfriends, and not just acquiring them, but maintaining it, definitely gonna need a whole bunch of money. If I want multiple kids from multiple different women, money is definitely gonna play a factor into it. Obviously the little kids don't care about money, but realistically, you're gonna need it because people don't grow their own foods, unfortunately, so people are still dependent on other people providing things for them. But yeah, scratch that last thing I said. You'll always need to be dependent on other people. That's just the truth and a fact. But you know what I mean now, that most people don't grow their own vegetables, so they're forced to spend money all the time in order to eat. But yeah, I don't mind at all. If I can effectively become a thousandaire from this idea and company that I want to have happen, and I just sit and wait until Monero reaches, a couple thousand to even tens of thousands, even surpasses Bitcoin. Not even, it will surpass Bitcoin. I just don't know when. And I hope it doesn't happen for a while, because honestly, I don't have too much Monero. I want it to happen after I said, after I get 1,000, then it can happen. I don't care. But in reality, though, yeah, that's the plan. I think it's a good plan. I think it's going to work out. I know a lot of people might see it as being crazy, and it's exactly why I'm recording this, so I can look back and be like, damn, see? I'm not just saying lies, saying that I was always a believer back then. I am a believer. My whole mentality has changed about everything. I don't even measure things, and like when people think of cryptocurrencies and they try to say, oh my god, Monero is going to reach like $10,000, that means that I get so much profit and I'm just convert it back to dollar. For me, it's the complete opposite. I see US dollar. I've learned the truth now about dollar bills and fiat currencies, and how governments have lied to us and deceived us about the value of the money. And I see Monero as literally a new currency, not like a cryptocurrency to make money off of, but literally a new form of currency that I believe is stable. Even though right now, there's periods of times where it goes down 50%. I think it's just because it's really new, but I think over time it will definitely be much better than the US dollar and just all other forms of fiat currencies, because of the restrictions of printing and minting new currency, and just Monero in particular, with the way that it's designed, it's everything that Bitcoin should have been from the get-go. The only thing I'd give Bitcoin slack for is the privacy aspect, because if you had implemented privacy in the very beginning for the first cryptocurrency, nobody would have trusted it. But everything else, like the whole ASIC mining machines and set supply of currency, not like a tail mission, but just stopping at a certain number, relying on transaction fees and no dynamic block size. I think that's a huge fuck up on Bitcoin's part. And if I'm being real and honest with you, if the only problem with Bitcoin was its privacy aspect, because like I said, it was the first, so it can't really get away with being private. I would hold on to it, but because of all the other factors, especially with the ASIC miners controlling it, it's not worth it in my opinion. But I mean, I guess don't take my word for it right now. Only time will tell, you know. And it's not. I'm not trying to say that I want Bitcoin to go to zero or anything like that, because that would suck for a lot of people. I'm just saying, like, it's too overhyped. People, to this day, people that I know in person and people that I see on the news and on TV shows and movies and stuff like that, whenever they talk about it, they always say it's anonymous and private and decentralized, and Bitcoin's none of that, unfortunately. With the ASIC miners taking over it, it's not even decentralized. So the one thing that really had going for it is not even true anymore. And it's actually not been true for years, so it's not even something recent that they can patch out. This has been happening for years, so being able to patch this out and fix it, it's impossible at this point, so that's just my two Monerage on it, my two micro Monerage on it. But I think of everything in terms of Monero now. So even when I try to spend something, I always think to myself, like, damn, this costs like 0.6 Monerage in order to spend. Like, I think it would just be better in order to save my money, because I know in the future 0.6 Monerage is going to be able to buy me a lot more stuff, compared to the mentality of the US dollar right now that I have, is that, oh shit, I need to spend this right now on something, whether it's food, groceries, or even just converting to Monero, because in the future, this same $60 quantity of US dollars is going to be worth much less, so that's my mentality of it, especially considering the fact that I believe they printed out over 40% of all US dollars within the past 2 to 3 years, which is an insane number, and people don't think that inflation is going to come. And I mean, they are right, it hasn't really come right now. I mean, it's coming a little bit, but I mean, with that amount of money being printed, this type of inflation that we're experiencing right now is little compared to what it's actually supposed to be. So, I'm not trying to scare people or anything like that. I'm just trying to knock some sense into some people. And who knows, maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong about the whole hyperinflation thing, because like I said, I don't want that happening to people either. But honestly, I don't have faith in that currency, and I'm just being honest and real. And yeah, so my whole mentality of it has changed. I would say I doubt anybody's gonna look into this video, but I would look for most people, if they want to save money, because I would say about half of the population ends up saving money, or at least attempting to save money. Think of Monero as a sort of savings account. I think of it as both a savings and checking account. I use it for both, but for most individuals, I think looking into it as a savings account, where an account that you rarely ever touch except for an emergency, which Monero will always allow you to send your money out. It's not like the bank where they have some restrictions, or they might, we can't process this right away, or we suspect fraud, or you only have 6 times before we charge a fee, and no, Monero never does that. So I mean, but I get it. It's y'all's money, so y'all's do whatever y'all's wants to do. That's the beauty of freedom, is that y'all's gets to do whatever y'all's likes to do with your money. So you better appreciate it while you can, before these central bank digital currencies come around and they deny you access to the freedom that you already somewhat have with the dollar. Which is not a conspiracy theory, by the way. It's been proven in writing and in speeches on TV as well from the U.S. government that these things are coming, and there are going to be restrictions like that. So it's no longer one of those conspiracy theories that I said to my cousins in New York. I think almost a year and a half ago or whatever. Like this is real, something that's going to happen. So I think finding ways to put your money into some place is going to be much better. And yeah, so I'm gonna end it off here because I don't like making too long of a video, but it was just something else in my mind, you know, because I think at this point it's really inevitable how things are going to be. For me, it's not a question of if, you know, if the dollar is going to collapse, because it will. I mean, they could make it last for a century, you know, but eventually it will. You know, so it's not the question if it will collapse, or if Bitcoin will go down in price, because it will as well, or if Monero will go up in price like crazy, because it will definitely. It's not if, the question is just when. That's it. And also not if CBDCs, central bank digital currencies, are going to be here, because they're already confirmed. So that one's a true definitive when. That one and the US dollar are both true definitive whens. You know, the central bank digital currencies, because they've already been announced, so it's not even a myth anymore. And the dollars, because it's just simple mathematics and how it all works. The system, it's designed to fail at some point in time, like a Ponzi scheme, you know. That's exactly like a Ponzi scheme. So, you know, I mean, it works now because people still have faith and people put the money into it. But eventually, if people stop doing that, it's just all going to collapse. Or if they just print out too much too fast, or all this stuff, you know. There's a lot of variables to consider, but at the end of the day, it will eventually collapse. And that is the truth for sure. But like I said, the question is not if, the question is just when. It could happen in a century. I'm doubtful for that, but it could possibly happen within a century. It could possibly happen within 2 centuries. It might not even happen within my lifetime, you know, or even my kid's lifetime. Although I'm doubtful for that, but it could be the truth, you know, because like I said, the question is not if, the question is only when. You know, and there was some talk that I've heard on the internet too, where people were talking about, oh, the central bank digital currencies, they'll just convert that, you know, they'll just convert the dollar over to there, so the dollar never truly collapses or something like that. And I'm like, that's impossible, because nobody's going to want to use it if they're going to use dollars. But I don't know how they're going to implement it, because obviously they're not going to just snap their fingers and make dollars useless. I suspect that they're going to give like a gift at first to incentivize people to use it. You know, like if you use this and you get like $5,000, 5,000 central bank digital currencies added to your bank. And, you know, at the time of release, one central bank digital currency is the equivalent of $1. And I mean, people will believe it because, you know, it's the government. Most people believe what they say. So, but yeah, I'm just going to end things off over here. And yeah, day 22 done and over with. So I'll see y'all later. Peace.